Alright. Aiden, we are now recording, and we are looking at the Rape Gang Inquiry Import. We are Rape Gang Inquiry Report. We're mixing it up today because this just came out. This is just hitting the news. People are talking about it. And there's probably more victims from this than there are of the Epstein files, although it's hard to tell because we have absolutely no clue how many victims are in the Epstein files. We just know for certain that there's 250,000 victims in the Rape Gang Inquiry Report. And that's just the ones we know of. I was listening to Asmongold. I thought what he said was interesting. He thought that there was, like, for every girl that survived, he thought there was one that died. Now, I don't think that would happen. I don't, as someone who volunteered for the sexual assault hotline, as someone who's actually read the statistics, I think most of the time you're going to survive getting raped, most of the time. However, I do think there are more victims that have not come forward. I think this is only a small percentage of victims based off of what I know about how this stuff typically works. So, Aiden's going to choose from the table of contents what he wants to go over. So, Aiden, we got acknowledgments, forward, executive summary, overview of crimes, victim testimony, whistleblower testimony, demographics and culture, the influence of Islam, homegrown enabling factors, impact on survivors, conclusions, recommendations, legislative response, all frontline response. Next steps. Concluding message from Rupert Lowe, MP, Rape Gang Inquiry Chair. Appendix 1, Appendix 2. The Appendix 1 is non-hearing victim testimony. Appendix 2 is survivor quotations. Appendix 3 is institutional failures. And Appendix 4 is list of areas gangs are known to have operated. What would you like to start with? Because I don't... Because there's so much more in the Epstein files, I only want to go over a little bit of this. Like, this is slightly more relevant in some ways. Like, but
maybe the last one, the operations.
List of areas gangs are known to have operated. All right, let's go to that. But yeah, in a sense, this is more relevant in that it is more recent. And it's been going on, they think, for 70 years. So all the way back to the 50s. So just after World War II, when they were starting to let more people into the UK. They think that this could have been going on for like 70 plus years. And I've heard that apparently there was people blowing the whistle back then, back in the day, maybe not 70 years ago, but like 50, 60 years ago, 40 years ago, definitely 20 or so years ago, for sure. And so it's like people have been talking about this for a while, but now it's just become like common knowledge about the rape gangs over in the UK. And so I was thinking, even though these are not high-ranking authorities who are doing it directly that we know of, at the same time, it's high-ranking authorities who are allowing this to happen. And then on top of that, it's like, then you got the Epstein files, which the high-ranking authorities are actually in. So this may or may not all connect in the end. Hard to tell, but let's get started and start reading this. This is page 214 for where the gangs still operate. Oh, and this is my favorite thing, Aiden. Do you want to know what they did in this report that they just released to the public? You want to take a guess what they did? I was not expecting this because I thought this was a public report. Want to take a guess?
No.
They redacted stuff again. They redacted a lot of stuff. I thought this just came out. I kid you not, I seriously thought they were not going to redact anything because this is supposed to be like some sort of public report, but no, we couldn't have that. It's like we have to redact certain names again. Why? I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with how much our government likes to redact names. It's not even our government, but the Western government likes to redact names just to make evil people look at. I don't know what to tell you. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating. I don't want to think about it. Here we go. Let's go 48%. No, 148%. That's what I meant to say. There we go. Perfect. Alright. Licensing authorities failed, and dozens of other girls in the same network. Okay, so it looks like they redacted the name of the victim here, but who's the licensing authority? Anyways, taxis and private hire vehicles were the primary method used to collect, transport, and exploit children across redacted. Specific drivers and firms were repeatedly linked to the gangs through victim reports, police intelligence, and direct sightings. Licensing bodies took no action to revoke licenses or tighten background checks, despite clear evidence of organized criminal use. When attempts were made to introduce CCTV in taxis, redacted counsel faced organized protests and backed down. The result was considerable mobility for the perpetrators and zero accountability for the licensing regime. Redacted counsel licensing. Redacted counsel licensing failed redacted, and every child handed over to at the redacted children's home. Staff openly selected children and passed them directly to taxi drivers for sexual exploitation. This practice continued for years in full view of the licensing authority. The council licensing system enabled taxi drivers to operate as a direct extension of the abuse inside a children's home, of the abuse network inside a children's home. Redacted, oh my goodness, served as a redacted city councilor with direct responsibilities for safeguarding, licensing, and community safety. She received a WhatsApp exchange from that concerned victims of rape gangs. She made the deliberate decision to make full exchange public. The disclosure triggered immediate political controversy, media coverage, and formal complaints, followed by disciplinary process against her. Redacted used the moment to highlight evidence of grooming gang activity within redacted and to link passenger and women's safety in licensed vehicles directly to exploitation risks. Her actions exposed how local authorities continue to treat serious safeguarding concerns as political problems rather than child protection emergencies. The incident further damaged public confidence in redacted safeguarding systems and demonstrated that even elected counselors who attempted to raise the alarm faced institutional resistance instead of support. Is this... Oh, okay, so I was reading the end of Appendix 3 just there. I forgot that there was a extra page that I forgot to account for, but that was still very interesting. We're now officially going, we went from what section? I want to see what section that was again before I continue. Oh my goodness, this just goes on forever. This was Appendix 3 was what? You know, I'm just gonna... Alright. Yeah, that was institutional failures that we just read through. That was the very end. I was a page too early, but I don't really care because that was scandalous, that was unbelievable, and I cannot believe what I just read. Appendix 4. List of areas of gangs are known to have operated. Here we go. Local authority districts, 149. Aberdeen City, Angus, Antrim, and Newton Abbey, Argyll, and Butte, Ashford, Aylesbury Vale, Barking and Dangham, Barnsley, Barrow and Furness, Bassett Law, Bexley, Birmingham, Blackburn and Darwin, Blackpool, Bolton, Bournemouth, Bradford, Brent, Bristol, Bromley, Broxbourne, Broxtow, Brunley, Bury, Calderdale, Cambridge, Camden, Canterbury, Carlisle, Castle Point, Chelmsford, Sherwell, Cheshire East, Cheshire West, and Chester, Chiltern, Christchurch, City of Edinburgh, County Durham, Coventry, Craven, Croydon, Dacorum, Dartford, Derby, Doncaster, Dudley, Ealing, East Hertfordshire, East Ridley of Yorkshire, East Staffordshire, Enfield, Epping Forest, Gateshead, Glasgow City, Greenwich, Hackney, Hammersmith and Fulham, Haringey, Harrow, Hastings, Havering, High Peak, Hillingdon, Hounslow, Hyndburn, Ipswich, Isle of Wight, Islington, Kingston upon Hull, Kirklees, Lambeth, Lancaster, Leeds, Leicester, Lewisham, Liverpool, Lunton, Manchester, Medway, Merton, Middlesbrough, Milton Keynes, Monmouthshire, Newcastle upon Tyne, Newcastle under Lyme, Newham, North Lincolnshire, North Tyneside, Northumberland, Norwich, Nottingham, Oldham, Oxford, Pembrokeshire, Pendle, Peterborough, Plymouth, Poole, Preston, Reading, Redbridge, Redditch, Richmond upon Thames, Rockdale, Rosendale, Rotherham, Sandwell, Sefton, Sheffield, Shropshire, Solihull, South Ayrshire, South Derbyshire, South Somerset, Southend-on-Sea, Southwark, St Helens, Stockport, Stoke-on-Trent, Sutton, Swansea, Swindon, Tameside, Telford and Wrekin, Thanet, Thurrock, Tower Hamlets, Vale of Whitehorse, Wakefield, Walsall, Waltham Forest, Wansford, Warrington, Watford, West Berkshire, West Durham-Berkshire, Westminster, Weymouth and Portland, Wigan, Wiltshire, Windsor and Maidenhead, Wirral, Wolverhampton, Worcestershire, Whitehaven, Wycombe, Wireforce, and York. Our inquiry also found additional strong evidence of rape gangs operating more widely within the following counties, albeit with a larger degree of specificity. Counties listed a total of 11, it says. Derbyshire, Devon, Dorset, Greater Manchester, Greater London, Lancashire, Lincolnshire, Merseyside, Norfolk, Yorkshire, and Warwickshire. And that is the end of the report of Appendix 4, where they are operating. I think the only part of all of England they did not list was Sherwood Forest. I think that was all of the UK. The only place I can't think of that I've ever... There's, of course, names I've never heard before. The only name I can think of that I have never heard of was, like, Downton Abbey, Sherwood Forest, and that one place where Doc Martin was a doctor. Those are, like, the three places. Everywhere else, it's just, like... Actually, these are the districts, so I don't even know... Shoot, I'll take it back. I don't even know if those places are in these districts. Like, all those were, like, not... Everything I just listed was in a district. Dang. That's a lot. I'm going to pick one because... Oh, this looks painful to read. I don't know how much I want to read. I've already heard... I'm going to be very blunt on this one. So, are you ready to hear something really messed up, Aiden?
Yeah.
Alright, just brace yourself, because this is unbelievably horrific. I am not going to go through and read this whole report. If people want to read it, it's out there. If people want to read it, I got it. I'm gonna leave the link below in the description. I don't want to go and read all, because there was tons and tons of testimonies of stuff like this happening. But in some of these cases, they were talking about they would get a dog and they would hold the girl down, look into her eyes as the dog raped her. They got dogs to do it. And then they would take glass, put the glass inside the girls, break the glass while the glass was inside of them. And they were doing this to girls. They were not doing this to full-grown women. They were doing this to kids. And I hear this stuff and I want to go on a killing spree. I want to do who is the guy? Is it the Punisher? You're a comic book fan. Who's the guy who does all the killing of the pedophiles?
Yeah, that would be the Punisher.
Yeah, I wanted to go full Punisher. When I heard this, I was like ready to just pack everything that I knew I could get on a plane and just, start doing like Home Alone planning, only it'd be more like Britain Alone planning, and just go full kamikaze on some of the people living there. I was just like, I can't handle. I've heard enough stories in my life where I don't want to keep rereading them. And I want to see what their next steps are. I'm going to go 179, and it's only a page long. So it's going to be 180 actually with this then. Because I'm worried that their next steps are not going to be enough. Because that's what we're seeing with a lot of these rape stories, is that even like we had the Me Too movement, a few years ago. And the Me Too kind of revealed like how easy it is for people to get away with rape, and it is insanely easy, especially if the woman does not go to get a rape test kit done immediately afterwards. If you go get a rape test kit, it's pretty easy. All you need is to get one cell from the guy on that rape kit, and boom, they can match you. And then they can take you in, and then there can be an inquiry, and if they get a DNA match, you're in a lot of trouble, because that is a sign that something happened. If they got the DNA from inside of the woman, that's a good sign that something happened. And if she did it for a rape test kit kits can really only be done like 3 days after the rape happened. After that, the body basically, your body naturally destroys foreign DNA on its own. And so by the time you're 3 days up, there's not too much the medical team can do. They can try, but for the most part, after 3 days, all the evidence is gone. So if someone goes in and get a rape test kit done within 3 days after it happened, that shows that there was something serious enough where they felt like they had to go in. It wasn't like regret a week later, or I have a boyfriend or anything like that. It's very rare to see people. I remember that's one of the things they told us. Is like there was only one time where they thought maybe they had a fake accusation, maybe. But they're like, every time you go in, you have to assume that what the victim is telling you is true. You have to be on the side of the victim, because you don't know, and this person needs help. And that's a good way to go about it. Now let's see what these next steps are for the UK, because I highly doubt that they're going to be logical ones based off of what I know about the UK, but let's see if they figured something out. I don't know. Next steps. Maybe we can learn something from them if they actually came up with a good idea, us Americans. Then maybe we can apply it to the Epstein files, although I doubt it, because people from the UK are in the Epstein files. Here we go. Publish this inquiries. Full witness statements. Seek out further witnesses. Statements so that more victims can tell their story. Name within Parliament those found to have enabled the rape gangs. Continue initiating civil proceedings and private prosecutions where appropriate. We have had more women come forward since our formal hearings took place. Be in no doubt that we intend for our rape gang inquiry to have a long life well beyond the publication of the SWIM report. It will be updated as and when we learn more about the specific horrific blight of our national story. This is the initial phase of a larger mission to make sure that no such avoidable atrocities can happen ever again. I'm gonna download this really quickly just in case. This is not what I wanted to have pop up, and I thought I had something. Oh well, I'm just gonna save it to my computer. Oh well, yeah, you're saved now. Go away. Go away. I don't want to see the notification that you just got saved. Go. Oh, never mind. I gotta click. I thought it would go away on its own. Now, the initial phase of this of a larger mission to make sure that no such avoidable atrocities can never happen again. I have high doubts on that. Yeah. And that's it. That's it. Wait, that was the steps forward? Wait a minute. Wait, okay, Aiden, did you catch everything I just told you? That everything I read off of next steps? Did you notice something? Because I noticed something.
What you notice?
Outside of the statement of continue initiating civil proceedings and private prosecutions where appropriate, there is no statement about prosecuting the guilty parties. Now, okay, really quick, because I have fallen behind on my mission to go after all of the pedophiles, but I'm back. Here we go. I want to see if this is true about this rape report, the rape gang report. So, as you probably already know, the majority of these men have been identified as Pakistani. Now, here's what's interesting. Over in Pakistan, there was a woman during, I believe it was 2020. She was a French woman with her kids. Her car broke down. 2 Pakistani men in Pakistan, they raped her. She was a tourist. Her car breaks down. 2 Pakistani men find her. They rape her. They have just been sentenced to execution because over in Pakistan, they don't put up with this. At least not when it comes to tourists, because they want to make sure they encourage tourism in their country. I know that's part of it, but also I know that Pakistan has this culture of hospitality, and that could also be a part of it. So I don't want to just say, oh, they're doing this for money. There could also be that hospitality aspect. I do know that while they allow a lot of really bad things to slide over in Pakistan, if you can get a guilty verdict on rape, it does sound like you get prosecuted heavily for that, but that can be hard because of the way their laws are around there, especially with their local. It's a whole mess. But point is, they're willing to kill people over this. They're willing to take the guilty party and execute them. So I had heard, I'm wondering if this is true, that Pakistan offered to take the rape gangs and prosecute them in Pakistan. I'm kind of curious to see if this is a true statement. Let's see. I don't even know if Google's going to give me an honest result. I might have to go to DuckDuckGo. Oh, okay. So this is the AI overview. This is just the initial AI overview. Yes, Pakistan proposed an exchange where they would take back convicted members of the Rochdale grooming gangs, but only if the UK agreed to extradite high-profile dissidents living in Britain. High-profile political dissidents living in Britain. I want to see what this means. High-profile dissidents. I think This is where my
we're talking about the UK, isn't that just their average native citizen?
No, I think they're talking about people who left Pakistan due to political reasons. So what? New settings for your search services. I'm kind of concerned with the fact that you are monitoring me so closely, Google. High profile, this is the AI overview, by the way. High profile political dissidents are prominent individuals who publicly oppose, criticize, or seek to change the policies and ideology of an authoritarian or oppressive government. Because of their well-known status and platform, they frequently face severe state retaliation, imprisonment, or forced exile. So basically, people who have fled to Pakistan say wouldn't be wouldn't not necessarily prosecuted, but wouldn't have to worry about political political harassment for their opinions. And like they may or may not have to worry about like going to prison, but they might have to worry about harassment, maybe getting killed and having nothing done about it. Because Pakistan is definitely one of those countries where they got corruption, they've got stuff going on. Like I've heard really good things about Pakistan, I've heard really bad things about Pakistan. And so yeah, and then according to Wikipedia, political dissident is a dissatisfaction with or opposition to the policies of a governing body. Expressions of dissent may take forms from vocal disagreement to civil disobedience to the use of violence. Well, here's the thing. What if the people... Oh, shoot. I need to keep that up. What if the people that they wanted actually were... that's not what I wanted. No. Okay, I lost the thing where it was giving me the AI overview. But I want to read it again. So they're saying, according to the AI overview, it's saying that the offer was highly controversial because it conditioned on the UK handing over 2 political dissidents living in Britain. Who were the dissidents then? The targeted offenders. Yes, but who were the dissidents? Because for me, it sounds like a fair exchange. Because if those 2 guys were causing problems in Pakistan, were they causing problems in the UK along with all the other guys going over there? It's not all Pakistanis. I will say this. There's plenty of good Pakistanis out there. My personal theory is that the extremists are the ones seeking asylum, and they're the ones most likely to cause trouble. And then, as this one historian that I listened to, as he pointed out, whenever you have large amounts of young military-age fighting men going into any country, you're going to have an increase of crime and sexual assault. This historically has always been the case, regardless of why men are going into any territory. So it's not, was it these 2 guys, Qari Abdul Rauf and Ali Khan, who had previously been stripped of their British citizenship and were living as stateless individuals? Pakistan offered to restore their citizenship to facilitate the deportation. Why did they not... Okay, this is my thing. Okay, Drop Site News. I want to see what they say. I don't even know who Drop Site News is. This might kick me out. Oh, it might. I'm going to see I can figure out who they are requiring, who these 2 specific people are. Because, like, for me, it's, if it's my country, and it's like, yeah, hand over all these people from our country who are raping your little girls and doing these absolutely horrific things to them. Oh, and by the way, you got to give us 2 dissidents that are living in your country. For me, it's like a no-brainer. I'm not going to choose 2 men who have no loyalty to the country over the children of the country who have, hundreds of thousands of girls, Back out of the gate, trafficking and fake news. Charge may have been leveled against other news outlets critical of its crackdown on democracy over the past several years, including drop site news. Yes. In exchange, Pakistan is demanding custody of Akbar and Raja, both vocal critics of the country's powerful and military establishment. During the meeting, so is these two guys, Akbar and Raja. So they're mentioned. I was speed reading over this. Give me a little bit more information about. Okay. What is going on? Insiders say the talks hinged on a quid pro quo arrangement. Islamabad will issue travel documents for Pakistan origin sex offenders stripped of British citizenship if London hands over former federal minister Sajjad Akbar and YouTuber Adil Raja. Pakistan's military-backed government has long accused critics like Raja of trafficking in fake news, a charge they have also leveled against other news outlets critical of its crackdown on democracy over the past several years, including drop news site. So I want to see. I want to see what Adil Raja has been up to. Like, what's his whole deal? He's got to have his own Wikipedia page. Yep, he does. All right, let's look up Adil Raja. He's a Pakistani journalist and former military officer. Okay, here's something I've learned from reading about the dancing boys of Afghanistan, the Bachabazi. Apparently, it's also a thing over in Pakistan. Now, it doesn't seem to be too great of an extent, but military is big into the Bachabazi, is what I've heard. I cannot confirm this. So I do wonder if he could be, you have to wonder. When you hear stuff, with everything that's been going on with the Pakistanis in the UK, based on what I've read about the Bachabazi, it does make me wonder. After relocating to the United Kingdom, Raja became known for producing YouTube videos under the channel Soldier Speaks, where he describes himself as a whistleblower and critic of the military establishment of Pakistan. Well, maybe he's protesting protesting against corrupt things he's doing. He has since been court-martialed for sedition and espionage and sentenced in absentia to 14 years of imprisonment and designated and convicted under anti-terror laws in Pakistan, which has requested his extradition. The convictions have been criticized as transnational aggression targeting journalists. Military career. He served from 1999 to 2017 and retired as a major. So he was in there for 18 years. He was associated with ISI and later served as a spokesperson for the Pakistan Ex-Servicemen Society from 2019 to 2022 when he resigned. Following his retirement from the military, Raja said he started a land acquisition business, later stating that his firm worked with organizations including Defense Housing Authority and Bahria Town. Okay, what did he do that made everyone angry at him is what I'm wondering. Roger later stated that he had safely reached his family in the United Kingdom, while Express Tribune has also reported that he had reached London after the reports of his disappearance. But why do they want him gone? Why are they upset at him? I still think it's a no-brainer. So he just makes the military look bad by writing YouTube videos about them, and it's like, if I'm the UK, I'm like, look, bro, I got 250,000 kids, and you're here, and I have nothing to do with your government anymore. We did away with that like nearly 80 years ago. Let's not. Yeah. I think what Pakistan's asking for is pretty fair, considering the situation. Now, if this guy is innocent, he shouldn't be killed. And maybe he should go and seek asylum somewhere else if this is what they're asking for. With that being said, it's said that it's better for 10 guilty men to go free if it means that one innocent man is free, as opposed to them all being in prison together. And I agree with that, but we're not talking about one guilty man or one innocent man versus 10 guilty men. We're talking about hundreds of guilty men, thousands of guilty men, and hundreds of thousands of girls that were raped. I think the scale is quite a bit different. I don't know. He's been trying to find he's been trying to find other places to go. So it looks like they're just upset that he's speaking bad about the military. And you only got, hey look, I believe in freedom of speech. It sucks that they want to arrest him for that. I would have to look further. This is something I would have to look further into. He might have had to disclose an NDA, and maybe he broke the law in that way. Who else are they angry at? Shahzad Akbar. Former federal minister Shahzad Akbar. What was he up to? Pakistani barrister and politician who served as advisor to Prime Minister Imran Khan on interior accountability in the capacity of a federal minister 2020 to 2022. Since leaving office, he's lived in self-imposed exile in the United Kingdom following a series of violent, targeted attacks. So he's been attacked. For me, I'm still saying, for me as a nation, it's a no-brainer. Is like, your country's problems are not my problems. I'm very much like I think people should be more isolationist. Like, I'm not saying never offer asylum, but I am saying like there comes a point where you kind of have to make a certain sacrifice. And they might be.
You always say borders, like you gotta think of the people first.
And you gotta think of your citizens first. Otherwise, what's the point of having a country? You know? Prior to his political...
That's not to say that people can't immigrate over, but at the same time, it's like you can't just take in everybody who comes a knocking.
Mm-hmm. So this guy, former federal minister Shahzad Akbar, he's known for representing civilian victims of U.S. drone strikes. So, once again, something that's a little bit beyond what I know, and that's a bit of more of a rabbit hole that I don't really go into. But it does sound like this is going to be a guy that's not in favor of the West. Now, I'm not justifying the U.S. drone strikes, especially civilians. With that being said, I think he saw it. I think they're both seeking asylum in the wrong countries. I don't think you should have. It's not good. They should have gone elsewhere. Because it sounds like they're not necessarily anti-West, but it doesn't sound like they're pro-West either. And for me, you gotta put your country first at this point. UK, get it together. Anyways, let's wrap up. We went down the rabbit hole. We succeeded.
Down the rabbit hole.
Out of the rabbit hole?
That was our catchphrase.
Yeah, I keep forgetting too, but we're getting back into the rhythm of stuff, okay? Out of the rabbit hole!
Out of the rabbit hole.
Woo! Alright.